Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport, and in this video we are going to bring you the preview of Everton versus Liverpool. And yes, wow, the Merseyside Derby. Everton couldn't have picked a better time to play Liverpool, because after a 7-2 drubbing by Villa against Liverpool, which certainly actually made me very happy afterwards, because I was very drunk after watching Spurs thrash United, so this really helped. And the Guinness for a moment
Just to intervene, Jamie, how many of these videos are you going to mention that you're drunk?
I'm always drunk. I'm drunk right now on red
Do you want
wine.
help?
There are better beers around. Anyway, we're going to talk about the Merseyside Derby, which I don't know about you, Joe, but I was talking to another Liverpool fan the other day, and he's actually a bit nervous about this and quite scared, just because of how they looked against Brighton with Calvert-Lewin, James Rodriguez and co absolutely blitzing it. How do you feel about this, Joe?
Oh, it was a bit of a difficult one. I'm both excited and, like I said, like you said, nervous before. It's one of these. Before the Aston Villa game, I was pretty up for it. I thought, oh, it's going to be the game where it's two unbeaten sides going to go for it, and we're going to have a feisty derby. And then, obviously, we lost to Villa, and I'm a bit apprehensive now. Everton will on form. Whether that form will continue throughout the season, when we get to the thick of it in Christmas, I don't know. But we're in the wrong form. They haven't won a derby in 10 years, which was the first game of the FSG ownership when Mikel Arteta and Tim Cahill scored in a 2-0 win against Roy Hodgson's Liverpool. Dark days. But I think what Ancelotti's done at Everton in the space of 10 months, 10, 11 months is nothing short of miraculous. He's turned them around. He's got them playing some good football. Getting James Rodriguez in on a free transfer is unbelievable bit of business. Alan from Napoli, quality. And as a Liverpool fan, you look across the park and you think that's good work that they've done there at Everton, but will it last? But with Liverpool set, we did some good business again in the summer. Not much. We won the title last season. Last week, I prefer not to talk about it too much because it's just too painful.
I mean, I'll ask you again, Joe. When you were watching that Villa game, were you just thinking this can't be happening? Like we're one of the best teams in the world. We're letting 7 in, not 2 or 3. We're letting 7 in against a team that nearly got relegated last season.
I want to give full credit to Aston Villa because they had a game plan. They stuck to it and it worked really, really well. Obviously, it wasn't helped that in the week Alisson got injured in training during a collision.
Is he still out, by the way?
4 to 6 weeks, apparently. Yeah. So that's going to be unfortunate. So Adrian come in, didn't cover himself in glory, didn't particularly perform well, but neither did Joe Gomez. He had a shocker as well. And I think after the third Villa goal, some players' heads just seem to drop, and it's not the mentality monsters that we've seen, as Jurgen Klopp labelled us for years. Salah was up there, he got his 2 goals. I was impressed with Diogo Jota. I thought he was bright on the left-hand side along with Andy Robertson. But the rest of the team just weren't simply good enough. And some people were using COVID as an excuse, and it's not an excuse. Regardless of whether you're missing Mane and Thiago, who's come in, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The other players should still step up and perform. And I think they underestimated Aston Villa a little bit, and I simply couldn't believe what was going on. I was talking to my uncle, who was a Villa fan, at the time on WhatsApp. I was texting him on that. I don't normally text during the game, but I thought, well, I'll send him a message, see what his thoughts are on this. It was good, well-mannered banter between the two of us and a good footballing conversation. He said he can't believe how well Villa have done this year. He thinks the appointment of Shakespeare as an assistant manager at the club has really helped as well.
Yeah, it is a good appointment.
And he said he was surprised at how well Watkins has settled down and performed. Well, I think it's the unknown quantity a little bit that caused problems there.
I mean, Seb, I don't know. I mean, obviously, we're going to ask you from a neutral perspective. From what we saw from Liverpool under Adrian in goal, I mean, surely straight away that is a weakness point that Ancelotti will look at come the weekend.
I'm not sure Adrian deserves all this stick that he's got. He conceded 7, yes, but Liverpool's defence were atrocious. The only defender I think who covered himself with glory was Andy Robertson, and this shouldn't come as a shock. It should. The 7 goals should, but the defeat to Villa, I saw coming. I thought if Villa play with Barkley, Grealish, Watkins, and I don't know who else, but it's still they're ambitious. They were very ambitious that match, and Dean Smith doesn't usually try and hold back. So I could totally see Liverpool losing, not 7-2 though, and it's bad. That's really bad. And I think another worrying thing is Liverpool are going to have 3 weeks coming now with midweek fixtures. The Champions League is back on Wednesday, next Wednesday. Sorry.
Yep.
So they've got to think about the Ajax game as well. Now it's great that they brought in Jota and Thiago. That adds a bit of depth. But if they're looking already as tired as they were against Villa, I mean, God knows how it's going to be against Everton. I mean, Everton are going to try and run them around. And I was the first to criticise Ancelotti. I thought after Napoli, this was the last of him at the top level. I thought it was over. If he went to another club, it'd be a minor club and nothing special would happen. I'm very happy to say that I was wrong. I mean, he's done wonders at Everton. I mean, the transfers worked perfectly. I didn't see how he could fit James into that system.
I was the same, Seb.
I mean, but I thought Gomez would be put on the sideline. I thought his time is up as well at Everton. Sigurdsson as well, but they've come in and they've still added to the team. So I wouldn't be surprised if Everton beat Liverpool and comfortably on Saturday.
I mean, I'll ask you both. I mean, it is early days, but you've got to start it at some point, a run, and Everton are the only team to have won 4 out of 4 so far. And, Villa, 3 out of 3, they haven't played a 4th game yet. But starting off with you, Seb, if Everton win this weekend, regardless of 1-0 or 3-0 or whatever, are Everton considered the title favourites? Or is that, again, am I just being too soon here?
Oh, I think you'd have to consider them title favourites at a certain point. This has to be taken with a slight pinch of salt. After Liverpool, I think until the end of December, the only complicated fixture you could say is probably Manchester United, which shouldn't actually be complicated considering how both are playing, and Leeds. So, I mean, why not? Their Christmas period is a bit more difficult with Leicester, Arsenal, and Chelsea, but still, you get to that point and you're near and thereabout, you've got to say that they'd be in with a chance. I don't think it'll last. I also know that Ancelotti started well his Napoli career. It started extremely well. They looked like they would push Juventus, but then it quickly fell to pieces. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ancelotti in this later stage of his career might not have the energy to hold up a season. Well, I'm exaggerating about a season, but might not be able to hold this up for the whole season. If one were to ask me and give a simple answer, I'd say no, they're not title contenders, but I'm ready to be wrong.
Very safe words. Safe words there from Seb True. Joe, I mean, again, I'm just going to ask you because it'd be so typical, wouldn't it, for Liverpool fans to win the league and then find out Everton are now up for it. It's just, you can't write this, can you?
No. It's killing me. No.
It's early days, Joe. It's early days. You know.
Joe, I'm not one of these people that hate. I don't like. Obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan. I don't like Everton as a rival, but I'm not one of these people who hates the club to its core and dismiss anything when they do well. I'm one of these people that I look at things from a football perspective, and I think Everton have done well. They just a good start to the season. Do I honestly, taking my red tinted glasses off, think they'll win the title? No. I think when it comes to Christmas and they get in the thick of it and they're playing every weekend and then midweek and then weekend again, and they haven't got a bigger squad as the likes of Liverpool, City, United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, etc. I think it will start to take its toll on it, and especially with the cup, I wouldn't be surprised to see them break their 25-year trophy hoodoo this year, maybe with the League Cup. But when it comes to the title, I can't see it. I've just got a sneaky feeling now with the League Cup, on a quick note on that, it's going to be Tottenham versus Everton in the final. It's just a little feeling on that one.
Not a bad shout. You never know. I mean, it's, I mean, that's definitely something to talk about another day on the channel. But
I think there's a good point from Joe there. That, I mean, there's the squad depth idea that you mentioned. They don't have that many players, do they?
No.
I mean, if you look at even up front, who replaces Calvert-Lewin? Tosun, and that's it. And Tossun's been injured for a while with an ACL injury. So if Calvert-Lewin does get injured at some time, they could be shoving Richarlison up front, maybe getting Bernardo back in onto the wing, say, for instance, I don't know, or maybe Gordon. And then when you start to see that, you think, then they can't compete for the title. It's just, with that sort of depth, you can't. I like the purchase of Godfrey, though. I mean, Mina and Keane, I'm I don't think any of them are actually that good.
No, Keane
But
is so not good.
Godfrey is still young, could do something well, but he needs someone experienced next to him, and I don't know who that is at the moment. But I do like the purchase. Holgate should be back soon enough, and I actually think he's okay. I think he's got a lot of flaws in his game, but also still young. The big problem, it's their depth. They've got enough midfield at the moment, but not enough elsewhere.
It's a bit interesting. Who knows, come Christmas, we might still talk about this on the channel. But Joe, let's start off with you. Please no, he pleads. Joe, let's be honest, what's your honest prediction? I'm sure you're going to say Liverpool win, but Everton don't normally like Liverpool, as you said before.
Like I said, the Liverpool fan of me says 2-1 Liverpool, but you're asking for an honest opinion here. I'm going to go for a 2-2-2-2 draw. A 2-2 draw. I think Liverpool kick back into gear. They've got Mane back, they've got Thiago back. I think the international break come possibly at the right time to allow certain players to get a rest. So here's hoping that we don't lose. And it's weird because I'm very optimistic Liverpool fan, as you know, I'm a very optimistic football fan. But it's so weird going to a derby and not thinking that we'll win.
And what an occasion it would be as well if there were fans there. It's such a shame we're in this world right now. Seb, what's your prediction coming from a neutral?
Just going to add a little extra to it. If Thiago doesn't start, which I don't see happening because he's barely played for Liverpool at the moment and probably not trained that much, Fabinho most likely will start. He's been back in Brazil. Firmino the same. I reckon that's also going to take its toll. But they've got Matip back, which could help maybe the aerial threat of Calvert-Lewin. I think it will be tighter. I think Everton will win, though, 2-1.
Wow. Interesting predictions there.